Live. Make sure I'm on the right screen here. Hopefully that flips over. Okay, looks good on my end. There we go. Cool. I just wanted to, I know there's a bit of a delay. I just wanted to watch and make sure that it actually flipped over. I got some different stuff set up in OBS, which is really exciting, right? Hopefully it'll be cool. Kim says, happy birthday, Bronze. Thank you, Kim. I believe where Kim is watching, if I've done my time zone translation right, it is also Kim's birthday now. So happy birthday, Kim. I hope you have a really great birthday. Thanks for spending the first part of it here in the live chat. Let's just see. I want to make sure everything's going smooth here after some hiccups last week. Looks like we got 3 people in here, so we'll let some people filter in. I'll kind of talk about just some stuff. And cool, we got we're up to 4. Okay. So if you are in the chat, I did have some technical difficulties last week, so let me know if everything's looking okay over you know, sound, audio, all that kind of stuff. Hey, we got Sean in here. Sean says, happy freaking birthday, brother. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who pops in. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for popping in. Azor's Tiger popped in. I really appreciate all the content that he shares. Definitely go check him out. And thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. I got a beverage here. There we go, man. So kind of give you a laydown on what's going on in the show. If you're not familiar, and I don't know how you could be with that thumbnail, it's my birthday. I turned 39 today, so I'm not quite 40. And I mentioned that because I have something that's kind of relevant to being 39 that I'm going to share here in a minute. Well, hey, there we go. That's all. I appreciate it. Seriously. I know it's late for East Coast people. These late night streams I do, it's the best time I can stream. I did a little bit earlier this week, but yeah, I know it's late for East Coast people. So it's definitely primarily most of us, West Coast people or insomniacs, but I appreciate it. But I got a bunch of news to go over. You know, nerd news has been rolled into this show now. Bunch of news topics. I asked you guys on my community tab, what you think about, some stuff, and I definitely will talk about some of that as we get going here too. I did get, monetized, which means I think I can get super chats now. I'm not asking anybody to do that, but do you see that option? Is it available? I turned it on. I'm not sure if that actually shows up. If you do decide to super chat, just know that I am going to a Comic-Con on Friday, so you know exactly where that's going to go. Hey, it is too late both where you're at and where I'm at for math, but I understand. I understand what you're saying. You guys have fun now. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm just curious if that option popped up. Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm not making much money off it. Any dollars I can put towards buying comics definitely helps, and you know, it takes a lot of time to do this stuff too. So that's very nice. But I'm just curious if that actually works. So, like I said, I got something to show off, some birthday stuff. You know, my wife and kid got me some cool stuff. Like there's a little balloon there. Holy shit. Okay, so apparently it does work. Wow, thanks, man. I did not appreciate that. I did not expect that. I definitely do appreciate it. I didn't expect it. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'll definitely use that wisely. It'll go towards some great X-Men comics. So thank you very much for that, man. I appreciate it. Probably gets a little cut off. No, it doesn't get cut off too bad. I don't use StreamYard, so I have to kind of cheat to get this little text overlay thing going on. But yeah, we got a bunch of news, got a bunch of unboxing. Well, not a bunch of unboxing, a big unboxing from Economics and Comics, an FOC order. I also got a DC Walmart pack we can open up and see what's in there. Yeah, so what do you guys want to do first? Do you want to do unboxing stuff first? Do you want to do news stuff first, or community stuff first? I'm open to everything, whatever's most interesting for everybody. Cool, we got a few more people trickling in, it looks like. So yeah, again, thanks for, holy crap, buddy, you're in here. Thanks, buddy. Wow, I appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. That's awesome. Again, guys, those are going to go to go to some good comic books. So those are great birthday presents, and just you guys being here, that's a great birthday present as well. But thank you very much. Absolutely, yeah, definitely going to have a sick unboxing. Wow, so both you guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's awesome, and I'm glad that feature works. That's really cool. I'll probably set up the, like, hey Dank, how's it going? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'll set up like the membership stuff too, where you can have like emoji and stuff. I'll get that set up here probably in the probably next week. But I do want to get to the thing that I kind of want to show off. So, like I said, that my wife and daughter got me some stuff. They got me the little Master Chief Mega Constructs guy there. Happy birthday balloon. A couple of these What If Lego minifigs. So I ended up getting Captain Carter, who I will drop promptly. They're on these like little foot peg things. And I also got the Spider-Man that we haven't seen yet in the series, but I'm excited. From I guess it's probably from the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, right? Duck down and get that. And then my daughter picked out this. I guess as soon as they went down the Lego aisle, she said, X-Wing. My daughter's 2. So she got me that. It's funny. I think my Ultimate Collector Series X-Wing's been in storage most of her life, so she doesn't even know I have that. Hey, honey. Speaking of which, somebody who's made it all possible. She did a lot of awesome stuff for me today, so give her a round of applause, everybody. She, took my daughter out of the house for a while, gave me a little time alone to record a video, and went and got a cake and got some cool presents for me, and just was awesome all day long. So I really appreciate that. I actually had some weird rough spots today that she helped iron out. So I really appreciate that. That's awesome. But yeah, so I wanted to show off the thing. Hey Joffrey, thanks man. I appreciate it. Show off the thing that I think is cool. So as you guys know, I do a series called Running Down Xavier's Dream. And the whole point is that's my run, my Uncanny X-Men run that I'm working on. At one point I had issues 300 through I think through the end. Yeah, through the end of volume 1 of X-Men. And a lot of issues before that, but not very many really. I sold everything above 300 and above, just kind of as an arbitrary thing when I sold most of my comic book collection. But I kept all the low numbered stuff. So my thought is I'll collect everything from X-Men from 1 to 300. That's my ultimate collection goal for X-Men, as well as like all the other like first appearances and stuff that are in other series. It's a very difficult goal. It's going to take me a very long time if I ever can possibly accomplish it. Holy shit. Thank you, man. Wow. I appreciate that, Billy. Thank you so much. Yeah. And guys, Billy, if you're not familiar, all his fans are the sickos. And he pointed out earlier today that I was born on September 6th. So that's pretty funny. And I really appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm going to a Comic-Con on Friday, so these are going to go towards some cool X-Men pickups probably. Oh, dude, don't sweat it, man. Like, all that stuff, like, I very much appreciate it. I don't expect anybody to do it. So you just being here and watching and celebrating with me, that's awesome enough. I really appreciate that. But yeah, we'll leave Billy's up there. That's pretty cool. Thanks a lot, guys, to everybody that super chatted. So what I got here, I'll basically be posting the update on Wednesdays, probably when that video is going to go up, and it has a whole bunch of stuff in it, not just this issue. This will be part of it though, so you're kind of getting a sneak peek. And it also has like a slab in it, which is a pretty cool slab that I finally got back from Hulk Nuts. You guys know him. But this is X-Men 39, and like I said, I turned 39 today. So X-Men 39, and that is a Cyclops issue, who's my favorite character. So you can't get much cooler than that. Yeah, Billy is pretty awesome. I mean, he does a really great job packing. Yeah, Buddy is going to be there. We're probably going to, I'm sure you're going Friday, right, Buddy? I'm pretty sure we'll have to meet up for at least a part of it. I'm gonna try to be there pretty early myself. So anyways, yeah, just to show off this bad boy, not a high grade copy. I mean, if you can kind of see, you know, it's got a lot going on, but collecting Silver Age X-Men is really hard right now. So I just kind of watched for an auction, found this thing. Big Cyclops fan, getting 39 for my 39th birthday. Just really cool. This is also the first time they have the new costumes that they wore for a while there, that aren't just all the matching outfits. So kind of a double key. But, you know, I figured next year for my 40th birthday, I can get issue 40. That's a little bit more expensive of an issue. But saying hey to each other, 30 more years. Yeah, I was 100% stoked on that. Yeah, like so I said, I'll be getting nice, right on. Absolutely, man, that was awesome. And you might notice you got wrenched too, by the way. Of course, we got that out of the way. Yeah, speaking of things, getting things out of the way. So yeah, that should be pretty fun to start collecting those. Yeah, 40 is a big ominous thing coming up next. And issue 40 is a little bit more expensive. Generally speaking right now, who knows what it'll be like next year. I actually already have 41. It's a really rough copy. I bought it at my actual LCS when I was a kid. Like I was probably like 12. And they just had it. It's this little beat up copy. And I was like, oh, sweet. I still need to get a better copy probably of 41. So I might still do that. And then I've got I've got a couple other issues in the 40s coming. So that's the funny thing is there's so many comics I have coming right now from different places. But shipping sucks. Everything for some reason is super delayed. I'm guessing because of the hurricane out east. Must be a huge part of it. Oof. I'm sorry, Kim. And that was just last year from what I hear, right? Oh, you're 40. Okay, yeah, cool, right on. Sean, I thought I added yours. It's kind of weird how you have to do it. Like I have to like go to your YouTube page and like copy that into a field. So maybe I copied and pasted wrong. Sorry, man, I meant to do that. Yeah, that's how it often goes, right? All right, well, let's get through the rest of these unboxings here. And, you know, this one should go pretty quick. This is just, you know, I was at Walmart. They had one of these. It's not like the DC packs or whatever, or sorry, the Marvel packs that are, you know, really cool when it comes to getting store exclusives, 1 in 500s and stuff, but you never know. There might be something cool in here. Probably some stuff I'll give away. Yeah, guys, if you didn't catch me saying it earlier, because not everybody was in here yet, it's Kim's birthday, so wish her a happy birthday as well. I don't think he made it in because it's pretty late for him. But another member of the community, Eddie's Mullet, you guys probably have seen him around. It's his birthday as well, so happy birthday, Eddie. If you happen to be watching or you're catching this on the rewind. So after this one, I do have that unboxing from Economics and Comics, who's here in the chat. He likes to cringe every time at like, you know, how people handle his comics or if there's a spine tick or something. So, so yeah, that Harley Quinn one, you guys all saw that already. It's pretty neat. Justice League Odyssey 20. Kind of a cool cover. But not anything too special, I don't think. Oh, wow. Dark Knight's Death Metal number 5. That is a sweet cover. Spectre style cover. I think it's probably Spectre, right? I didn't really follow that storyline too closely, the newer stuff. And Terrifics 27. So, yeah, you know, some stuff that might end up in some giveaways or something like that. Just kind of thought I'd check it out. Nice. Thanks, Larissa. I appreciate it. So did they pull him? Is that, I haven't heard much about that recently. Yeah, happy birthday to those guys. It's really awesome. I wish. Why unbagged? Didn't catch that. Oh, because I mean, because the pack came bagged and I opened it, you mean? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'd love to find like I'd be perfectly fine with a low grade copy of that myself. Yeah, of course I'd love a high grade too, but oh yeah, kind of like an unboxing, just opening, like ripping a Walmart pack. You know, again, just stuff, probably fodder for a giveaway or throw-ins for an auction or something like that. But here we got, this is a economics and comics unboxing. Screw Eddie. Oh, Eddie. As much as he gives crap in the community, he's a pretty good sport about it coming back. He'd kind of have to be. So yeah, Billy had, I'm not saying he should have shipped this in one of those new Gemini boxes. Don't take this the wrong way. But he's been sending out stuff in those new Gemini boxes. And he actually had a cool like promotion with them, or they decided to do a promotion with him where you could save on an order. So I actually picked up some of those larger Gemini shippers. They can hold like 30 comics. For like $7, I got a 10 pack. Sorry guys, I know there's gonna be some noise on the mic here. So great job shipping. He ships it, you know, boxception, I like to call it. But yeah, so I got some of those boxes, and you know, I'm just using them for storage for the most part, or if somebody does like a large order. Because I'm doing another auction probably Friday after next, because I'm gonna go to the con this Friday. So that means, you guys know how it goes. It means like 1,000 people will be doing the auctions that night with my luck. But I'll schedule it well in advance. I just got to make sure I can get started earlier that night. And if I can, there we go. Yeah, Billy's packaging is excellent, guys. His packing, his packaging, his package, I guess, has a lot of pubes. I know that because he seems to throw them in boxes all the time. Kind of an inside joke there. So yeah, good job on the packing as usual. I'm gonna pull these out and be a little careful, because these are comic books, folks. You don't just handle them all willy-nilly. So it might be a few different things in here. Hey, we got Michael McComb in the house. We got a sick package, man. Just like me. It's Rose City Comic Con in Portland, Oregon, and I will be there Friday. It's a accent light, interest light is what they kind of call it. Trying to, you know, I film in my dining room, so I have like a little LED light down there that I can change colors. You guys want a different color? Should we change it up live? I don't really do that very often. Let's change it up live. Let's go to pink for a while. Like the Aerosmith song, pink is my favorite color. Yeah, it's a green light. I'll probably switch it back or switch a different color, but it's kind of fun. The pool boy himself is here. So anyways, we got some comics here. Fuck, I've already forgot the issue. This is a Daredevil homage, Death of Stick homage, like 164 maybe. Probably wrong about that. But that's Sumerian, and I can never say the Man-Eaters of Zambula, I think is how you're supposed to say that. Comic things you can't pronounce for 1,000, Alex. Oh, that's gorgeous. I believe that's the Chew cover. Barbarella 2. I got a big light here, so I'll try to keep the glare off. There's a million variants for this. I just went for the A cover. I don't think this is going to be a big deal, but Kang #1. Oh, I love these. The official guidebook kind of style homages. The Craven one there. Can't remember if that's a Sinister War or an ASM issue, but those are awesome. This cover, Spawn covers are always better in person once you get them. 321. Went for a couple Sweet Paprika, Mirka Andolfo's Sweet Paprika. I've yet to read any of these, but I love the covers. And sorry guys, you can't see these ones. You're not old enough yet. You got to have more birthdays or be on a platform that isn't as prudish as YouTube. I used to not care, but now I'm monetized. So this is Nice House on the Lake, number 2. This is the second or third print of number 2. Second print. It's weird. They do this like deforming thing, which is really awesome, like an aged book. But it looks like they went more extreme on issue 2, because I think this is about what the third print looked like on number 1. Because like the second print was kind of distressed, the third print was really distressed. Got that sweet cover for Trial of Magneto there. Love that. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters. Another series that I kind of haven't read any of yet. With all those, I'm waiting for the trade collections, basically. I love this cover. Hey, that's funny. We got Michael McComb and we got Billy from Economics and Comics here. We were looking at this. We did a Twitch stream together. I hopped on with K-Pop was on there as well. And it was basically just the 4 of us. And we were pretty much the only people, like 2 people who came in and watched. But this cover was one of the ones that we were reviewing at the time because Billy was doing his FOC stuff, like loading all the images onto a store. And that's just a cool cover. It's like kind of got a 69-esque sort of vibe going on. So I love that one. That's Black Cat number 9. And just a fantastic Zatanna cover on Truth and Justice 7 there. Love that cover. Cover by for sure. Yeah, 69. I'm missing a ton of chat. Sorry, guys. Let me make sure that was... Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Roseview. Yeah, it's Rose City Comic-Con in Portland, Oregon. Hey, awesome, Larissa. I'm glad to hear it. Larissa picked up the Justice series, the entire Maxi series, for me on my auction, and I'm glad it arrived okay. That's awesome to hear it. Birthdays, you get a birthday, you get a birthday. Yeah, several of those comics. I haven't read Red Room, so I read almost everything digital these days, and I'm also like I'm enjoying reading a lot of older stuff. Just to be honest with you, that was a 69. Hey, if they're doing their job right, they should be able to figure it out. But yeah, it is pretty funny. It's funny they're like intentionally doing that. I always find my comic book owner LCS at the casino. There you go. And your name's Slots. Is that like a slot machine reference, or you're like in LV? I appreciate it, man. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, you're doing a hike, man, for sure. It's still better than any. There's like no conventions in NoCal, right? So that's probably as good as it's gonna get for you. We got Nightwing 83. That one's for Kim. She's in the chat. She's a big Nightwing fan. And my name is Dick Grayson, and I have an idea, is what the caption says on there. Way of X number 5 variant. Another cool cover. This is a bomb cover. Spider-Woman 14. A bunch of these Marvel dual covers were really interesting. Usually I don't like the video game covers, but... oh, yeah, okay. United States of Captain America, number 3. I believe that's the first cover appearance, and I cannot remember that Captain America's name right now, but that's a cool one. For some reason, I'm still punishing myself with these Liefeld 30th ones. I mean, I like Liefeld, but he gets a lot of unfair hate, I think. But these covers aren't exactly the most imaginative. But Cable and Deadpool on the cover had to do it. That's Cable Reloaded number 1. Got another one of the official handbook homages. The Vulture one on that one. And again, just because they don't have the cover information on, I'm not going to open up the bags for each of these. I can't remember if that was an ASM or Sinister War or whatever. Just a sweet Black Widow cover. This is like technically issue 50. How do you guys feel about this like thing where they're adding, like they did Venom, the Legacy Venom, it's really only Venom 35. They're adding together like Bad Math, all the miniseries he's ever been in, that kind of stuff. How do you guys feel about that? I think it's kind of weird. King Spawn number 1. I went with the cover. You know, I wanted to get a copy of this. I'm a Spawn fan, but you guys know me. I wouldn't buy into the signed version for my soul. Harley Quinn 6 to go with my Harley Quinn 1. Kind of a cool cover. Absolutely my jam. Something is killing the children. Usually been picking up try to do this without dropping a comic. We never want to do that. 2 copies of the A cover there. This is a silk cover. Couldn't pass that up. That's cool. Oddly enough, I couldn't pass that up either. That Vampirella 23. That's just, yeah. Perillo's just on point with these Vampire. I would not be buying a lot of Vampirella if it wasn't for him. And then we have the Chew variant for Harley Quinn 6. I think that's the A cover for Wolverine 15. Kind of neat. Got a couple of those. I must have had a good feeling about that one. It's been long enough now. You know, the funny thing about FOC, I'm sure a lot of you can relate. It's been long enough now that I don't actually remember what was important about that issue. I think we got 2 orders in this box, basically. I'm not like looking at the invoice right now, but Wonder Girl number 3. Sweet cover. And Who Might You Be? Definitely had to pick up Winter Guard number 1. I think the Winter Guard's pretty cool. Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 2. Kind of a... Is he going to war now with the... Oh, God, what's the name of that nation? The nation that was in Suicide Squad 2, right? I think he's going to war with them. Avengers Annual, number 1. They always like to sneak cool things in these annuals, right? Got 2 copies of that. And, of course, Darkhawk, number 1. Got to be very careful. He said Dark Hawk number 1. Yeah, this was a couple of orders got kind of squished together. So I got another copy of Dark Hawk number 1. Oh boy. Yep. This is what I was waiting for. My Virgin cover of this shipped. Warren Lau. Not really sure if it's Warren Lau or Warren Lau. Vampirella cover. That's just great, guys. That's awesome. Not to be outshined. I mean, these are all kind of getting the samey, but the Shannon Miracle to Dracula covers are pretty good. They're all kind of getting a little similar though. Wolverine 15. Just, that's so good. Imyuk does a great job. It's probably my favorite Jubilee cover in a while. I think that's the A cover for Cable Reloaded number 1. And you guys know. You know what this is. You know what time it is. It's Booty Cover of the Week time. Deja Thoris versus John Carter of Mars. Booty Cover of the Week. Absolutely. Oh, and just got a doubled up Harley Quinn 6. I think that's the first appearance of a character, right? Can't remember the character's name, but yeah, so a little bit of a big unboxing there because a couple shipments got combined, so I wanted to make sure we went over that. Bunch of modern comics, some really cool stuff. I know I missed a bunch of chat. Yeah, hopefully you guys like some of the covers in there. Pool Boy is the man. Pool Boy's awesome. Yeah, they kind of canceled everything, Larissa? Right on. That was in reference, are you going to... Oh, Swornfest in Mesa. Yeah, okay. Right on. Yeah, what's up, Autumn? We got to record that. I actually just, it's funny, I just said something today to her about that. So, okay, she'd already replied to that. Yeah, so we'd filmed something. It was a little, in my opinion, we felt a little forced on it. You know, it was the first time we'd ever done something like that. And then, I mean, the stream is earlier this week for a reason. Yeah, it's been very difficult for us to get scheduled to record. I mean, the problem is, yeah, it's just tough. You got to enunciate, but yeah, there's some good stuff in there. Just general admission. Yeah, I'm not working a booth there. That'd be fun to do, but it's funny. We actually had like an event here in my town and in a parade right by my house, my apartment. And I was like, man, I should like just run out there with a booth and just sell some comics to some people that don't know any better. But yeah, maybe next year. I'd love to do something like that. I don't quite have the inventory for that, but I will be doing more auctions and stuff. There you go. Okay. Yeah, Booty Love. I'm known for it, guys. So I'm gonna switch over to some news and stuff. I got some different stuff to try out here. So last week, what happened is when I switched over to trying to display some new stuff, we lost audio. So I'm gonna switch over to something. I'm gonna kind of wait. You guys let me know and make sure you can still hear me. But you know, like I said, I was gonna try to up the production values. I'm not still not quite there. But like, we're gonna get to the nerd news segment of the show now. Real fast, let me check it because I got 21 people in here. So hey everybody in here, thanks for joining me for this birthday stream. I really appreciate it. We are gonna jump over to the news. So I'm hopefully you can still hear me. And I'm gonna, you know what, for the sake of it, yeah, let's leave the pink. That is an appropriate absolutely. Let's see. Oh God. Is that just broken now? Is that what's going on? Shoot. Okay, let's switch over. I'm going to switch over to that again. If you can still hear me, we're doing good. Oh, you guys are going to look at my secret sauce here. Oh, I know why. Because I have to do that. Okay. I think that looks good for you guys now. Let me know in the chat. I've watched more commentary about it than I did actual stuff on it. Again, if you guys, as soon as you catch up, let me know if you can hear me still, because last week we didn't have audio when I did this, and I just want to, before I start talking, I want to make sure that I get this right. Okay, so I'm hearing sounds good. Okay, so this is a little trippy for me to do this. That's awesome. So yeah, that's weird. There's going to be a little bit of an overlap there. See if I can fix that on the fly. All right, we'll call this beard cam. All right, hopefully that still looks and sounds good. Okay, so again, this is Nerd News. Welcome to the Nerd News segment of the show. I am going to try to like play cheesy late night music and all that kind of stuff in the future. I'm going to keep getting better and better at this stuff, guys. All right, cool. Sounds like you guys can hear me. Just I can still. So the problem last week is I couldn't see chat. I started talking for like 10 minutes and it was a disaster. So let me know if you do have any issues throughout the course of this. But for the nerd news segment, you guys have already read the headline. I probably can just stop talking. But we got Star Wars is reportedly going to change its name. And what this means, you know, this is reported on several sources. This is Inside the Magic. There's a couple of websites that I think are less reputable that also share this. Inside the Magic is kind of hit or miss. Um, Hey, right on, man. Thanks for. I totally understand. I had to do that or help do that before I jumped on here. So thanks a lot for hanging out, man. I really appreciate it, Azores. Well, Book of Boba was already a thing, Sean. So supposedly this is going to be different from how I understand this. So basically, what they're going to do is in the storyline that's covering Din Djarin, who is the Mandalorian, and we're going to see it follow a different set of characters. And this was confirmed by Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Moff Gideon in the show, that it could happen. He didn't confirm that this is happening. He just said, what I've heard is that there's right here, there's an end planned. I've also heard it'll just morph into a new show that sticks with the characters and time period, but under a new name, which is really interesting. Sorry, I'm getting parched, guys. So it's really interesting to me because what's going to probably happen here, I think, is we're going to start following the Darksaber, maybe Bo-Katan, which would be pretty cool. Or, it could be other characters, maybe Grogu, maybe Luke is a possibility as well. I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's fun to guess and try to figure out what's going on. But at the same time, I think it's just interesting to note that the show's probably going to switch over to a new name. There's other shows I've wondered if they would do this, because it's like you have your clear-cut storyline and it's over. And then what do you do? What do you do after that? And I think this is an interesting approach to it. I don't want a show to keep going just because it's popular. I prefer shows that have an ending in mind in general and they stick to it. Doesn't always work out that way. Like Game of Thrones, didn't stick the landing, for example. And it theoretically had kind of a planned ending. But yeah, just an interesting article, food for thought. Would love to know what you guys think about that. So Sean says, I know, but it might as well be because Boba is going to take it. Well, but Boba is going to have his own series. So you never know. Could be a crossover. Could be a lot of things going on here. But what I understand is probably going to happen is that Book of Boba is going to be its own miniseries or show following his story. And then we'll probably see this follow somebody else if this is true. And this is, again, not written in stone or anything. But I thought this was interesting. It was something I was going to talk about. Along with this, since we're talking about Mandalorian, I won't pull up an article on it because it's old news at this point. But I thought it was interesting. There was the whole thing about Plo Koon potentially making a comeback. Basically, there was some, Luke Skywalker appears at the end of The Mandalorian. There was some placeholder art that they used with Plo Koon in Luke Skywalker's place to kind of throw everybody off, which is interesting because it spurred a bunch of people to wonder if Plo Koon might somehow still be alive. I don't really know how that would be possible, but it's Star Wars. They've done crazier stuff by now anyway. Billy says, I feel like we won't see Grogu for a long time and all the other characters will have separate shows. Possibly. I could see, since the show is called The Mandalorian and that's the root of it, I would be more like I said, Bo-Katan, I could see being a character that we could follow. And I really like Katie Sackhoff. Her character is interesting so far. Maybe not as cool as I'd hoped for, but then again, maybe it's neat that she's a little bit more complicated and not just immediately some kind of awesome character we love. She's actually got like kind of parts about her we don't like, right? That could be interesting to follow. But yeah, it's interesting. But the Plo Koon, I want to say that every time. The Plo Koon thing is also kind of interesting to me too. If they could try to bring that character back, it was just kind of a neat little thing. But let's move on to the next story, which is Shang Chi, or I guess. So what I understand now is it Shang Chi? Is that the right pronunciation? I haven't seen the movie yet. Keep that in mind, and please no spoilers in the chat. It's still really early on this one. If you have seen the movie, talk about it, but don't do spoilers, please. Yeah, Billy says there's like 10 shows that haven't come out yet. But yeah, Boba's going to be a huge success, but I mean, at least in the beginning. If the story's not good, though, will it hold viewers? That's the question. but he's an immensely popular character, so they better do that one right. So I think I'm gonna say Shang Chi because I believe that's how it's actually supposed to be pronounced. But the headline here is kind of the biggest thing I want to talk about, and this is something that a viewer suggested that I should talk about, which I really like to listen to my viewers and take your guys' suggestions. And this is one of the first comments I got when I asked what we should talk about tonight. Is the performance of this movie, and it's in the pandemic era, it's outperformed anything really. So the update is Disney now says the Friday through Sunday gross is 75.5 million, which is funny. That's probably would be considered weak in normal times, right? For a movie of this magnitude, a tentpole MCU picture. However, in the modern times, I mean, this is amazing. So it places Shang-Chi closer to the initial 80 million 3-day opening. Oh, that's interesting. So Black Widow was 80 million in 3 days. Interesting. I actually didn't see that before. I mean, obviously she's an established character, but that movie was a poor performer. Shang-Chi. Billy says it's because they force people to go to the theater, plus how much of that is in China. And that's true. Absolutely true. But still, I think it's interesting at this point that you have this movie doing well, because I think this movie, and it's probably what the article talks about. I didn't read this particular article. I just wanted something to kind of, be visuals to go along with what we're talking about here. Eternals, I shouldn't do that. Eternals is another one that I think both have kind of a soft projection for in a lot of fans' minds. Okay, so the movie was fantastic, especially considering origin stories don't always land super well. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Slot says nerdrotic, or something like that. Said it was Shang shit. He has over 300,000 subscribers. Okay. I don't know how many subscribers he has, whether or not that matters to how right he is. Billy, man, I'm not excited for Eternals. Hope it's good though. Yeah, I hope it's good too. I think it's going to be a surprisingly good movie. That'd be my guess. I will tell you, like I think I said on my original Nerd News segments, the first trailer came out for Shang-Chi, and I was not excited about it. And then the second trailer came out, the one that had Abomination and the dragon, who I don't think is really Fin Fang Foom, but people thought it was maybe for a second. Again, no spoilers in the chat. But I think it was just a guardian dragon or whatever is kind of what everybody figured out. But it looked better. I want to see it. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought too, but it's so weird. It's like one of those things that Sean's telling me about the pronunciation. I can't really highlight chat right now. But yeah, it's just a weird thing because I grew up thinking it was Shang. It's a surprisingly good movie according to Collector P. Highly recommend it. Cool, right on. Joel, if you're not familiar with Joel, he's somebody who is a frequent guest on Economics and Comics, and he's as a movie critic. Said it was a dumb movie, good. Just I'm a dumb good movie, which some dumb movies are good for sure, 100%. So I don't know, I'm still excited about watching it, but I think whether or not it's good in the general Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic sense of the word or whatever, never mind, I'm freaking drunk on coffee and beers. That's funny. Hey, thanks for the happy birthday wishes there, figure drawing. Hope you're having a good night. I just think it's interesting because we're seeing. So he said the story was dumb, movie was good. Okay, so that's funny because I think a lot of MCU movies are one or the other. It's acting, story, or quality of the movie itself. You can have two of the three is kind of what it feels like a lot of the times. Kind of firing off the cuff. That's kind of how I feel about it. But it obviously did pretty well. I think that the interesting thing here is that we're seeing, nature is healing. We're seeing movies come back. And that's a big deal. So many things were sort of put on delay. People didn't want to take risks by releasing stuff. Critics. Omnibus Ryan says, curious how Eternals will do. It's got a really star-studded cast going for it. Even my non-superhero watching family seems interested, but it also seems way out there for general audiences. And the funny thing is, I kind of agree with you. But I think I do agree with you. I think the funny thing is that sorry, I was reading ahead. The funny thing about it is I think it's going to be a hugely important movie to the MCU, like massively important. I think there's gonna be a lot of stuff that happens in there. Like, I think Celestials and Celestial seeds could be the key to unlocking mutants, and I mean, maybe not, but there's so much that could happen because of this movie. But to me, it's also really weird that we're getting Eternals in a meaningful way. And I know Inhumans had like a terrible show, but before Inhumans or Fantastic Four or something, it's interesting. It goes right along with the fact that like we've already had like good Guardians of the Galaxy, which is hilarious. If you're a longtime comics fan, maybe you enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy, but it was a joke title for so long. I mean, just and not knocking the comic book, but it was never like a powerhouse title. And it's just funny like how MCU can inject this life into stuff, and it also can don't do that. Give me hope about the mutants. Yeah. But it can also ruin stuff too. We know that too. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Headless is here. Thanks for the happy birthday wishes, man. I appreciate it. I'm Shangful. I was mispronouncing Shang Chi all this time. Yeah, exactly. That's a great joke, man. Good job, Brick Hunter. And thanks, Pete, for saying happy birthday. I really appreciate it. Yeah, just waiting for Galactus. Absolutely. E makes the A say its name, correct? Yeah, the MCU doesn't need to be interwoven. I agree with that too, Slots. I think it actually, I would prefer to see segmented, like here's a bubble and here's a bubble that tell different kinds of stories, and then they connect. I just think that Eternals will be a big connector. I just have a feeling that's going to happen. Anyways, that big story. I mean, obviously MCU stuff. I know that appearances and stuff, like I think there was some hesitancy on some of those comics, and now you started to see them really take off as far as speculation is concerned. Okay, so this is the last little article I have pulled up. Then we'll move back to the other stuff. But this was just interesting. So live action Rick and Morty. Some redneck with a loud ass truck driving by. Sorry if you guys heard that. So this is really weird, and I can't play the video here really, I don't think, but this is Christopher Lloyd coming full circle, half circle, depends on how you look at it. Since, look, if you don't know, Rick is based on Doc Brown from Back to the Future, and having Christopher Lloyd come in and play a live action Rick was super weird to me. Like on one hand I was like, oh, but on the other hand it's like, do I really want to hear Christopher Lloyd like talking like Rick for real? Like he already did the belch thing. It was kind of weird. It almost felt great as what it was, and like, please don't do more. Just my own personal take on it, but it was just a really weird thing. I'm a Rick and Morty fan. I like the show. I think it's kind of losing some of its appeal. Like this last season has felt a little derivative to me. It just feels like a theme for every episode, and I don't know, maybe that's cool, but I don't know. This just seems like it's jumped the shark a tiny bit, but in a way I appreciate, but like, please don't do more. Anyway, so I'm going to go back to the normal view here. So that kind of concludes the majority of the actual nerd news stuff for the night. Once again, let me know if there's any weirdness to my stuff here. I get the live chat back though. That's good because you guys can see me highlighting comments again. There are tons of dumb movies that I like. If a movie is supposed to entertain, but it doesn't, that's a fail. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. There's lots of movies that are, and I'm having a hard time thinking of one right now. There's lots of movies that like everyone didn't like and you're not supposed to like them or whatever. And I loved them. Oh, that's interesting. You have like a clear element on your avatar there. Yeah. I just want to be entertained too. Man, you guys are going nuts on this, trying to figure it out. Yeah, there's exactly. I saw the Green Knight knowing it wasn't a popcorn movie. It was exquisite. That's sitting on my queue. I need to watch that. Yeah, everyone's saying that. I haven't seen the trailer. I've seen a couple stills. Oh, beard's starting to go a little nuts here. I've seen a couple stills from it. I'm not a big anime fan, so I didn't watch the anime that much. I've seen like a couple episodes probably. Totally not part of show, but I had a giant rat outside and it put a humane trap and a non-humane, and it went out there and it killed him and I cried. So the humane traps. So there's different kinds, but here's the story. So I used to be a manager for Regal Cinemas, and we had pests at the first theater I ever worked at. I was a manager there. And I was like a projectionist and that kind of stuff too. So basically I was Tyler Durden is what I'm trying to say. And we had mice. And so we had like the sticky traps. And here's the thing about the sticky trap. It's not really that humane because they get on it and then they're stuck there. And if the pest control company or whatever that has come to is supposed to go check those traps doesn't come check them, you just have a mouse stuck to a piece of sticky tape on the middle of the floor and it can't eat or anything. It's actually, I think it's very inhumane. I have some stuff emblazoned in my memory from those days. So yeah, but it can be rough. Catch and release or kill. I left it up to fate. Unfortunately, it killed him when I was outside. He's bigger than... Well, that's not hard, right? I'm sorry, man, but you know what? There's a lot of rats, and they die. Right? What kind of critters do you have in Arizona? Do you guys have like nutria and stuff down there too? They have some. They're crazy possums, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Armadillo. Hopefully he would know if it's an armadillo, but you never know. You never know. So yeah, I want to talk about some of the other stuff. Let me pull up. So we got 22 people in here. I just like to check for my own purposes. Go and see what else people were saying we should talk about. It was big. Okay. All right, dude, it was big. But we all know that you overestimate on size quite a bit. So was it really big? 1 second, pulling this up. So I had posted what people think we should talk about, and I think we already talked about several of those things, but I want to talk about the rest. So Clinton Rathbun had wanted me to talk about good girl art. Clinton, if you're in here, speak up. Because you wanted me to talk about good girl art, but I wasn't sure exactly what part of it you wanted to talk about. Figure drawing is the one that wanted us to talk about Shang Chi's impressive box office numbers, and so we did go over that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, I bet. Fate hates gigantic rats. Apparently. Um, you don't kill? Why not? Don't you eat burgers and stuff? So I started hunting a few years back, and I did it because I was tired of like factory processes for meat and stuff. I still eat that stuff, but I try to limit it as much as possible. So I started elk hunting. It's better if you do both. I mean, I'm not like trying to get on a weird thing there, but it is better if you do both. Like eating, like having shot an elk and feeding my family and my parents for a year with the meat that comes off of that thing just feels great, because you know that it lived a clean life. I ethically as possible took the animal down and respected everything in the process. Um, yeah, yeah. There's a lot. It's a complicated subject. Of course, my mouse is dying here. Um, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I did want to go over these other topics that people brought up. Doesn't look like Clinton's in here, so we're gonna move on from that one. I don't really know what you want me to talk about with that one, Clinton. I was kind of struggling with what you thought was important to talk about with good girl art. I mean, I obviously am a fan of good girl art. I'm a fan of bad girl art. I'm a fan of a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, definitely interesting stuff. James, I haven't seen you in here either, but James wanted to talk about Adam Warlock and how we should be depicted in the first MCU appearance, assuming he gets depicted. I think he's definitely coming to the MCU. That's my opinion. But yeah, I don't really know. I'm not a big Adam Warlock fan, so I would say I hope they do something different, because his story has always been kind of cheesy to me. That's kind of my 2 cents on it. I'm definitely willing to let other people kind of chime in on that one. So Kim asked a really interesting question here. And I'm going to paste it into the chat. So I can highlight it a little bit easier. Kim said, it's funny, Kim, you've never looked so bad as right there in that picture. With Tinian basically leaving the superhero genre, who will follow? What are some of the best superhero writers working now? And this is an interesting question. I like this question a lot. But I also will challenge this question a little bit. Yes, I know Tinian was writing Batman. He wrote Detective Comics and stuff. But is Tinian really a superhero writer? Because I think Department of Truth and Something Is Killing the Children are better. Now, props to the guy, because he's writing 3 great titles that are all very different. So I think he's the best writer right now. But is he the best superhero writer? And I kind of wonder about that. But I think this is a fantastic question. I'm really curious what other people have to say about this. I am always a little bit behind on comics these days. So, you'll have to kind of forgive me a little bit here, because I read the trades, and I usually read them digital, and they take a while to come out after most of the stuff comes out. I would say, like, it's funny, like, if I think about who's a good writer, there's huge flaws with everybody I can think of. Like Hickman, I used to think Hickman was great. His X-Men stuff was a little weird, but at least he tried something different. I will say that. With Al Ewing, I think Immortal Hulk started out really fun, really cool. I think it got a little stagnant towards the end. I haven't finished up that run yet, but I'm very close to the end of it, as are they. I can't remember if the final issue's... Sorry about that. Sorry for the loud noise if you're wearing headphones. I can't remember if they finished that up or the final issue hasn't come out yet. I think it's getting ready to come out. Anyways, I think it's kind of grown a little stagnant. Yeah, and we all thought Kate's was great until the end of the story. I think Kate's... I don't care about endings to stories and comic books as much, because I don't think they're necessarily ending focused very often, especially when you're talking about ongoing superhero titles. Like, an ending of a chapter doesn't really matter as much, because like the characters are going to move on. And I think a lot of people, if you really thought about it, maybe you disagree, are excited about what's going to happen with Dylan and everything. And if it wasn't for Kate's, that wouldn't happen. And I know people have really strong feelings about that Venom run and about Kate's in general, or the Thor run. You know, it's a couple bad runs there, maybe at the ending. But I think his beginnings of his stories were solid. But I don't think he's the next coming either. I'm not saying that. I think it's just an interesting question because I don't think there's a lot of good writers in comic books right now. Like, especially when you're talking about superhero books. So I thought this was a fantastic question. Good job to Kim for asking it. Yeah, I mean, I'm an art first person when it comes to comic books, but I definitely prefer when they're both going well. Yeah. There's so much copying or following in comic books though that I don't know how much I knock him for that personally. I understand your perspective, Billy. But even art, like think about every other fucking cover is an homage cover these days, guys. Like I love homages, but it's getting a little ridiculous. Like let's get a little bit more originality in both writing and art. It would be my opinion. Well, right, but I mean, my point is that he wrote more indie titles than superhero titles anyway at this point, in a way. Yeah, everyone seems to like have this strong take about Substack. Personally, I'm waiting to see how it all shakes out. I don't really care. But I get it. I totally get the perspective, 100%. Yeah, I mean it's a visual medium, so I think art is more important. But the example I always like to bring up is, you know, those '90s books from like Image that were fantastic art for the time, at least. Maybe today it's a little bit dated, of course, but at the time it was like super detailed. You had all these powerhouse artists, but the stories weren't usually there, and that killed those books. Yeah, but is he gonna put an original spin on it at some point? I'm asking because I literally don't know. Yeah, I mean, just the thing is the simplicity of his stories. I still enjoy him. Like something is killing the children. Like I've said this a few times on these shows. Like I can't really tell you why something is killing the children is something special. It's really not. It's really not like that complicated or deep. There's just something about it that just kind of is easy to relate to and keep reading. You know, keep going. There's another one. Is it Ram the Fifth or Ram V? Lines a lot more with most of everything. Yeah, I agree with that, Sean. I don't have a good answer, and so I was really curious to bring this up. I know we got a lot of smart people in here, a lot of people that love comic books. And I think Billy, you're saying Tynion's the best current writer. I think so too. But I don't know. I don't know who I would crown as the best current writer. Like I don't really like what Benjamin Percy's been doing over with Wolverine. I'm trying to think like other current writers that are, you know, like I like Jimmy Palmiotti and the stuff that he's doing with Amanda Connor and everything, but I mean I wouldn't call him the best. I don't know. It's a fantastic question to me, and it's a guaranteed bestseller. I think you should have Michael McComb do the cover, and there should be giant anime titties on the rat. That's my vote. It'd be kind of cool. Yeah, but I'm seriously like just trying to think about what I've picked up recently. Like even writers that have like come back into comics that I used to enjoy, I didn't enjoy their new stuff. And so kind of where I was going with this, where I think this leads up is it the writers or is it the publishers? Is it Marvel and DC that are constraining the talent or not drawing the talent in? And I think that's really the crux of the issue here that I think is going on. Is I think that the editorial presence for both of those publishers is preventing original new stories from moving forward in a maybe a way that most comic book fans want to see. And I don't want to get into the whole PC woke thing. It's part of this, but I don't really agree with most people dead on their opinions, and so I don't want to turn it into like some kind of, you know, negative discussion about that kind of stuff. But I have a feeling that that's where the problem lies. And whether it's those writers are in step with those publishers on those ideals, or whether or not they're just not drawing them in because they're like, hey, we want these kinds of storylines, A, B, and C. And you know, X writer comes in and they don't want X writer. That's actually Writer X. That was like a video game reviewer, right? But they don't want those kinds of storylines being told, or they don't want to take chances, or they just want to play the safe story. I kind of feel like there's something going on with that. Yeah, like Larissa says, I really like the indie titles. It's true. And I even liked, like, you know, like I've talked about it before, Invincible. Fantastic superhero story because it explored some interesting ideas that you just would not see at Marvel and DC. So I think there's something to that element of it. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, and there's a lot of good superhero books even within those publishers too. And you probably mean that, but I'm just saying, like, those indies have great non-superhero stories too as well. I think they're kind of maybe more known for that. Yeah, Zdarsky is a real strong contender. Oh shit, The Price. Have I read that one? I've read a lot of his stuff. Oh, is that the weird one? Is it from a rat's perspective figure drawing? Yeah, they're boring, but like it's funny because I've been going back and reading a lot. Like I said earlier, I was reading a lot of older stuff. So I've been reading like X-Men. I'm reading like X-Men 13 right now, from, you know, 1964 or whatever. And you know, when you read those Silver Age books, those superhero books, like it's so funny. Like how, you know, it's Stan Lee. I love Stan Lee. I love Stan Lee, but it's interesting to read that stuff these days, right? Like I read some older Spider-Man stuff not that long ago, and I've read a lot of that stuff when I was younger and like reprints and trades and stuff. But going back and reading it as an older person, it's from a cat's perspective. Okay, I think I've read that, but it's been a long time. Yeah, Gaiman writes really great stuff, and I'd love to see more comics from him. Okay, maybe I haven't read that one then, because The Devil doesn't ring any bells, but he's got some interesting shit. Awesome. I'm glad you watched Invincible. I think it's fucking amazing. The comic's really, really fucking good too. But yeah, the show is awesome. I can't wait for season 2. And more importantly, I can't wait for seasons 4 and 5, like when they get deeper into the story. Exactly, Kim. I think that's a huge part of it. Writers are artists. You know, when we say artists in comic books, we tend to think of people like Mr. McComb. We tend to think of people that draw pictures. But they're all artists, and artists generally want to get paid, of course. But they also want to express themselves. They also want to get their ideas out. And yes, 100%. Yeah, 100%, by the way. That's absolutely true. And I'm not in any way knocking it. I'm a massive X-Men fan. It's just funny because, like, you know, you compare, like, you know, Claremont era stuff to Lee stuff, and it's of a different time. But just like reading, like just, it's funny to me. Like, I'll just go off on a tangent for this for 1 second. Like the dialogue or the thought balloons of like Gene or Scott, it's just so funny to read that stuff these days. And, you know, I knew that going into it. I was like, I know what this is going to be like because I remember these stories, but it's even more vivid. I think, like, having watched things like WandaVision or Mad Men, where you're going back to that period in the 60s in a way, like examining it through a different lens. And now you're kind of looking at those stories with kind of fresher eyes. And you think about, like, as you get older, that you kind of lose the innocence, you know, the rose tinted lenses that you looked at back on those times, that you realize that those were real people. Those were our parents or their parents' generations. And they were just like us in so many ways, but society was so much different. And it's fascinating to think about those stories, but it's also fascinating to think about just like how the powers and stuff were all different for all those characters. I'd kind of forgotten a little bit of that. Like, you know, Cyclops's beam is like a heat laser, essentially, like a power blast that can, you know, punch a hole through a handgun, through a revolver, in a cop's hand. And, you know, Professor X can do all kinds of crazy things with his mind that he's never been able to do again since then. And it's interesting too to know that, like, you know, X-Men was not a hit back then. It wasn't popular. I mean, think about what happened later before you get to issue 100. You know, you had all those reprints because the issue essentially had to go on hiatus, and it was essentially Claremont that came around and saved it. Fascinating. There's a fascinating Claremont documentary, by the way, that's worth watching. I think you can find it on YouTube and Netflix, I want to say. So you read it too. I'll definitely have to read that. Yeah, 100%. Just like, I'm one of those people, like, athletes need to get paid too, Larissa. Like, and it's funny because, oh, we pay athletes too much, or they're overpriced crap. Well, we feed into that system as fans, or as society at least. And I think that, you know, I can't blame any athlete that wants to get paid. I can't blame any artist or creator that wants to get paid. Yeah, it's corny as hell. And guys, we have Tony Stank in the house, MCU superstar legend. Stan the Man Lee calls him out in a movie. You know, where is Tony Stank? Tony Stank's right here. Yeah, it's a fantastic scene. Good username, good screen name. At least something happened. Now it's mostly talk and no action. I agree, Stank. That is not a stanky opinion. Yep, I agree too. Hey, thanks, Geek Driven. I really appreciate it, man. False. He had 5. Little known fact. Inkblot is about a cat. Oh man, I gotta go back and read some Gaiman is what I'm learning here. But anyways, I did just some interesting food for thought. I thought that was a great question, Kim. I'm really happy you asked it. Make sure I covered all my little bits and pieces here. I did drop, you know, just kind of talk about some other stuff. I did drop a new episode of the top 5 not to buy. I'm not doing those every week. I'm doing it kind of just as I feel like there's some interesting comic books that are worth talking about. And kind of to make a point, and like, you know, if you watch those, it's kind of a hack in a lot of ways that I do on those, because I'm not talking about those actual books. I'm talking about what those books represent within comic collecting and speculation right now. Like Pirate Queen, I put that on my list to talk about what it means with Bad Idea and where Bad Idea is at in the industry. You know, I put Batman 181 on there because I wanted to talk about how these staples from the Silver Age or the Golden Age or whatever, like appearing in Batwoman's not going to affect them much. I mean, yeah, there's going to be a price bump for a while, but that's not the reason that book's going to go through the roof long term. This whole Midnight Suns silliness, America 12. So I talked about some of those books. I think it's an interesting episode. If you guys want to check it out, I recommend checking it out. Yeah, I agree. Like, I'd like to see him write more comics. Sandman, to this day, his run on Sandman is probably my second favorite after Claremont's run on X-Men, and they're two vastly different things, but yeah, absolutely love that. So yeah, and I'll have the X-Men run dropping probably Wednesday if I can get it edited in time. There'll be about 30 or 40 books I talk about with my X-Men edition there, and then like I said, I have another episode that's going to be ready to go fairly soon. I picked up a couple interesting books that I found for hella cheap. Whoa, that's weird. Billy saw a Bad Idea on Diamond. Interesting. So that they're pushing out their last few books through Diamond as well. I mean, kind of makes sense. Awesome. Thanks, man. Right on. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, you know, I don't want to do this every week. Like I could, like, they get more views than other stuff I do. I could turn it into a thing where it's like I'm just pumping it out every week, but I really want to talk about something specific with each one. So I pick my battles there. Yeah, so I did the video about the X-Men. I will probably have a video out about Comic-Con and going to it, whether it's footage from the convention or stuff I picked up there, or if I see people I know there or whatever, or all those things kind of rolled into one video. I thought about going live from the convention floor. I might do that briefly. But you know, I'll be honest, like I don't mind wearing a mask because I think it's the right thing to do with everything going on, but it's really hard with the glasses and the masks I wear. I usually fog up pretty good. And so it's really hard to like film, have glasses, have a mask, be walking around, be aware of people, all that stuff. So I may or may not do that. Lock and Key is really good. I haven't read all of it, but I've read a chunk of it and I really liked it, Sean. So yeah, we'll have convention shenanigans. I'm probably going to do, show you guys. I scored this retro hiss at Walmart as they were putting it out on the shelf. So I thought about maybe doing an unboxing and review of this. I want to do some more action figure kind of stuff. Just because it's fun, it's different. It was not ever going to be the focus of my channel, but just every once in a while, that's kind of a cool thing I got. And then, you know, guys, as always, I'm going to be doing the Monday night live streams that you guys are a part of. I really appreciate that. Let's check out how we're doing. We got 21 people in here. Again, thanks for all those super chats earlier, guys. That was really awesome. That's kind of cool. I didn't realize it would tell you your super chat total there. That's going to help out at the convention, so I appreciate that. Thank you. But we've been going for about an hour and 17, so yeah, I've heard about that, Pete. For one thing, I don't have shaving cream, which may or may not surprise you. I've heard about that for sure. Like I know like divers and stuff, I've heard do that to their goggles and stuff. But does it, I have like the blue tint coating, the anti-reflective coating and stuff, and the blue tint to take out blue from light. Feel like that could fuck with that. I don't know. You guys are probably gonna tell me no. I'll look into that. I use like Zeiss wipes, which help quite a bit with that stuff. If I did use Shang cream, that would probably be the nicest thing, right? What else? I got caught up on What If. I've actually been kind of, you know, underwhelmed with some of the What If stuff. I won't be too heavy on the spoilers, but yeah. Chem wipes are good. I use the Zeiss wipes, and I have a good time with those. There's gonna be a Kim joke in here somewhere. I just know it. I'm just watching, waiting for it. But yeah, What If has been kind of a little disappointing. I'm waiting for the zombies episode, like that for one thing. The Doctor Strange episode, like I was playing a game with my wife and I couldn't even like pay attention to it the whole time. You know, like we were just playing backgammon and I just ended up focusing more on the backgammon game than watching the episode. I'll probably rewatch that at some point. You know, again, I won't spoil it or whatever, because there's probably people that aren't caught up on it, but I just didn't think it was that fun. I really liked the Captain Carter episode, and I liked the Avengers episode that they did, the kind of alternate version of the Avengers. I'll leave it there. You found some old G.I. Joe vehicles you had as a kid when cleaning day. They're in bad shape. Yeah, so I've got a ton of those. Yeah, that was the Avengers one, right, Brick Hunter? That's the one I like. I think it's the one my wife and I both enjoyed that one the most. Yeah, so I've got a ton, and it was just me. I was an only kid. I was really spoiled when it came to G.I. Joe stuff, toys and stuff when I was a kid. But I've got some pretty neat stuff. But it's funny because I was born in '82, right? So I didn't really catch a lot of the like classic early vehicles. So I found a Rattler at one point at a yard sale that was in really good shape. I still have it. I had the General, I had the Mobile Command Center, I had the Rolling Thunder, some really cool stuff, but I never had a Tomahawk and I never had a Killer Whale. And those were like the two vehicles. I also like Snowcat quite a bit too, the Snowcat. So those are like the three G.I. Joe vehicles that I'd be after for sure if I could get a retro collection or something like that. See, that's the thing. I kind of agree with you figure drawing, but I actually enjoy the comics more. Like some of those episodes, I almost feel like, I get it. Like let's do half and half. Like show me another story. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. 2 and 3 are good. 1 and 4. See, I liked 1. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but I liked it. Oh, the old Kenner one? Nice. The only like classic, I have a Han Solo, and a Snowtrooper and a Leia. The only classic Kenner stuff I have. I was definitely more of a G.I. Joe guy. Cool. All right, guys. Well, unless anybody has any other questions or topics they want brought up, I will probably end it here pretty quick. Just making sure nobody said anything else in chat or on the YouTube page that I need to address before I jump off. So it's gonna be kind of a light week. Doesn't look like any new comments are on there. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm happy my wife supports me in my nerddom efforts, but I have a ton of Marvel Legends, and I'm definitely gonna have to like sell or store a lot of them at this point. Try to be a little bit more selective. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Nice. Yeah, it's funny. The Kenner stuff, just for some reason, this is probably sacrilege, but it didn't really do it for me. Something about the proportions, everything just kind of looked stumpy or blocky, kind of, in a way that I didn't really like. And only 5 points of articulation. G.I. Joe's just had so much more going on. Also, this is kind of an ongoing search that I have. Kim mentioned the G.I. Joe vehicles. She wrote to a letter in the G.I. Joe letters column, and I still have yet to find that. I've been looking for it. Every time I find a raw single of G.I. Joe, I look in the back just to make sure. Still can't find it, so I'm still looking, Kim. Thanks a lot, dude. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate everybody popping in here and hanging out just for the late night chat, just for the comic book talk, the nerd news, to say happy birthday. Whatever it is. I'm old now. No, I'm just kidding. I was already old. I'm older. But hey, I'm not 40 yet, right? So that'll be fun. I don't know. Part of me is kind of worried about 40. Part of me, it's whatever. It's another year. Plenty of people are older than 40 in this chat. Plenty of people are younger than 40. I knew people that were 40 that didn't feel like they were 40. It doesn't matter. It's all what it is. I have watched some of it. I watched Siege and Earthrise. Okay. So I gotta pop open my 48's, what you're saying. I'll check it out, Kim. Brickner, I did not order the HasLab Galactus. But speaking of birthday, my birthday present last year should be arriving later this month, it looks like, which was the HasLab Sentinel, which I did pre-order. So those should be shipping out. I can't wait. I'm going to do a video on that when it comes, of course. And probably for live shows, it'll probably kind of live back here. Be like a nice little background thing. It's funny. My daughter loves X-Men. She's 2. Her and my dad share a birthday, and she's turning 3 next week. But she loves X-Men. She loves Sentinels because her first exposure to X-Men was the X-Men cartoon and Night of the Sentinels, the pilot where Jubilee gets captured. And so Sentinels are a big thing for her, so I think she's going to freak out when she sees that thing, especially since it's almost as tall as she is. Absolutely figure. Yeah, age is just a number, right? Like, but you hit those decade marks and you definitely pause for a second. 30 feels like forever ago now, but passing that one felt weird, and I'm sure 40 and 50 and 60 are all going to feel a little bit like that. But I hope everybody here has a great week going forward. I know there's a lot of people that have birthdays this week. Again, happy birthday to Kim. Happy birthday to Eddie's mullet. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody else, but there's a lot of September babies out there, a lot of Virgos. So, yeah, the Galactus, I will talk about it. So I really wanted the Galactus. I even mentioned it to my wife. I'm like, hey, there's this Galactus thing. And she was like, that's fucking ridiculous. And she was much nicer than that. And I had to agree when I really stopped and thought about it. Like, I'd love to have Galactus, but it's just ridiculous. Oh, sweet, dude. Are you talking to the White Queen cover? That's awesome, man. I'll make sure to unbox it on the show and give you a shout out for that, dude. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, that exactly. That Voltron was fucking ridiculous. It was cool. Luckily my daughter will keep me young in some ways, so that's good. But yeah, I hear you. Yes, exactly. Yeah, there's that whole thing too. That people don't realize, you know, time moves so much faster as you get older. Yeah, it's because you stop learning new stuff. You stop experiencing new things. That's a huge part of it. Yeah, I'd love to find my old Voltron. I think I kept really good care of my old toys, but I think Voltron's one of the ones that didn't make it. Dude, that is so awesome. Thank you very much, Comic Chameleon. I really appreciate that. I've been hunting that cover. I have a few more coming from Headless Hammerhead. They were different ones though. I think the Mystique, the Deadpool, and the Cyclops are the ones he's sending. And then I had the Gambit and I had the Rogue. So that's really awesome. I'd like to find the Forge, obviously the White Queen, a couple others, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wanted the Lego one they did. That was really cool. But yeah, guys, I think I'll let y'all get out of here. Sean, happy birthday, Bronze. All the other Virgos. Absolutely. Happy birthday, all you guys. Hopefully we'll do some fun stuff for Rose City Comic Con. Hopefully I'll get a hook up with Buddy there, and we can kind of talk a little bit, you know, as a fan of the channel, and we're both sickos and all that stuff. That'll be pretty fun. So hopefully lots of good content coming, guys. I really appreciate everybody who stopped in here to hang out with me, and all the happy birthday wishes, the super chats, stuff that people sent me, you know, messages, everything. I really, really, really appreciate it. So thank you very, very much. You guys are all very awesome. I feel so humbled to be part of this channel with all you guys watching and supporting me. If you're catching this on the rewind, that goes for you too. You guys are awesome out there. Thank you so much for everything. If you just catch the live shows, I'll catch you on the next live show next Monday. And then, like I said, I'll probably do an auction the following Friday is what we're aiming for. And you guys rock. Have a great night. Have a great week. And thanks for making my birthday end on a positive note. I hope you guys all have a fantastic night, and I'll catch you on the next one. I want to remind you, as always, hey, 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 hey. Read comics every day. Have a good night, everybody.